recording the video version. Welcome back to another episode of the iTunes Fanboy Podcast. In this episode, Tabbypears and I will be discussing the latest tech news
I'm
in
recording the
general.
audio version.
And so, in case you're wondering why
I'm now recording the audio version,
I was originally going to have another guest on.
and I'm now recording the video
Saturday,
version.
which was
Welcome back to
Riker
another
from
episode of
Tech
the iTunes
Talks.
Fanboy Podcast.
But
In this episode,
unfortunately, both of our
Tabbypears and I will be
recordings
discussing the
were
latest
up,
tech
and
news in
so
general.
he had to be
And so, in
for
case you're
July,
wondering
so
why
there
there's
was
no guest
time
this week, I was originally going to have another
And
guest
so,
on
this episode,
Saturday,
we'll
which
be
was
discussing
Riker, who was Riker from Tech
and
Talks.
and from now
But
on,
unfortunately,
should be back.
unfortunately, both of our recordings were corrupt, and so he had to be rescheduled for July since there was no time this week.
Yeah, I had some stuff going on where last week I thought I would be out of town for the whole week. Then my mom ended up getting sick, and at that point, me and the iTunes fanboy already made the decision to go ahead without me that week. But in the end, I actually didn't have to do that because I didn't know. Well, I thought I was going to be out of town, but as I said, plans changed, so I am back now. No more connection issues, it seems, so we should be good.
News that I wanted to get out of the way. No, I've already mentioned that I got the iPad Air 5, but no.
Yeah, it seems like I am back for good, which is good.
So, what is a recurring theme of every?
Is it about your new iPad?
Podcast, with the exception of the last episode I did. The Jewish.
What is it?
And today I am proud to tell you that, in case you didn't notice when you tuned into the last episode of the podcast, the Jewish hacker is officially gone.
Internet issues and the Jewish hacker?
Didn't bother Saturday's recording either. So.
I think that when I reported him on Instagram, he kind of got a bit mad, and he stopped. He kind of realized doing this isn't.
What happened to him?
Yeah.
Kind of stopped, I think.
Yeah, and I think another issue was that.
Yeah, I think that when I reported him off Instagram, he kind of got a bit mad, and he stopped. He kind of realized doing this isn't really going to get him anywhere, so he just kind of stopped, I think.
The Jewish hacker did interrupt that one, and he did. And when I introduced him as a Jewish hacker, once I realized that it wouldn't go away, I decided he then said "F me," so I told him that back, and after saying a bunch of inappropriate stuff, he appears to have finally quit.
Wow. Yeah, so I guess he just kind of got tired. I don't understand what his motive was, though. Like, what was his end goal?
Yeah, I think.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, because we know that I think there's actually
Wow.
two people involved.
Yeah, so I guess he just kind of got tired. I don't understand what his motive was, though. Like, what was his end goal with his whole shenanigan there? Like,
I think there's definitely one in India.
Yeah, because you know Dan from I Like Phones 2022.
Yeah, that guy.
yeah.
Block him.
Yeah, I had to block him too, but his
Yeah,
English when he was
I think there's
traveling
definitely
was
one in
a lot
India,
better.
because,
And because his real name is supposedly Mike, according to Alice, Michael Props.
yeah, that guy, I had to block him.
In the middle of the night, and he called Yalis too, and in the middle of the night once, and Yalis
Yeah.
could tell it was an Australian guy. I would have answered the call too, but I was sleeping, and I slept through the whole call.
Yeah, a few nights ago, I think someone hit my friend's phone because my friend was staying the night at my house.
And I accidentally hung up with Tabbypears. That was not a connection issue. That was one of my cats, Frankie, hitting something on my computer.
Alright.
Yeah, so. But meanwhile, let's actually get started with the Apple news.
Yeah.
So,
Alright.
on first up, so there's there is potentially a 2 terabyte iPhone
Yeah.
14 Pro and 14 Ultra in the works.
I don't think that's gonna happen because it seems like every 2 to 4 years they add another storage option.
I don't think that's going to happen because it seems like every 2 to 4 years they add another storage option. And last year they added 1 terabyte. About 2 or 3 years before that they added 512. And 2 years before that they added 256. 2 years before that 128. And I believe
Yeah.
4 years before that, maybe two, yeah, I think 2 years, no, 3 years before that they added 64. So I wouldn't really count on that rumor being true, but
Yeah.
I will say 1 terabyte is already way too much for most people, and I was actually considering buying a 1 terabyte iPhone, but
Yeah, because my mom.
I would have if
I'm
Apple
one
accepted one of my
of
trade-ins,
those
which
people
they
like
did
my
not.
mom,
But
'cause
I
my
ended up
mom
being able
has
to get
actually
512, so it's all
actually
right.
just ordered a 1 terabyte iPhone 13 Pro Max, even though she already had a 512 gigabyte 13 Pro because she was running out of storage or memory, as she calls it.
Yeah, my mom has a 256 gigabyte 13 Pro Max as of about a week ago, and she seems to be liking it.
Yeah, my mom has a 256
Yeah,
gigabyte
and
13
so,
Pro Max as of
by the
about
way, just
a
as a
week
little side
ago,
note, why do
and she seems
people
to be
refer to
liking it.
storage as memory? Like,
I think it's down to what it used to be referred to, and people see memory as in RAM.
I think it's down to what it used to be referred to, and people see memory as in RAM, and they just say, oh, that's the same thing because storage equals
yeah.
memory, and also memory's kind of a
Yeah, and I was
less
kind yeah,
computer
so
illiterate term
if the 2
that people can
terabyte
use.
iPhone rumor and winds up being true, then my mom is going to be then my mom will be kind of out of luck because she would have probably gotten the 2 terabyte option otherwise. Yeah, and the only one of my relatives and my dad
Yeah,
will be getting
but
an
there's
old
always
13
the iPhone
Pro,
14 and 15.
I will be also inheriting my dad's old 11 Pro Max, but that won't be my daily driver because the charging port on that is broken. Yeah. Yeah, and so my dad had
Oh,
to go
that's
out and get it
unfortunate, but you can
because
use
she
wireless
borrowed
charging if you really need to.
Walmart yesterday. Yeah, so the only one of my relatives that I think
That's
may be
unfortunate.
that has the slightest possibility of upgrading to the iPhone 14 is my grandmother, because she does like the idea of satellite connectivity, and her current iPhone 10R's earpiece speaker is also malfunctioning.
Yeah, so that would make sense to upgrade in that situation.
Yeah, because my grandmother does like the idea of satellite connectivity.
Yeah, so that
I
would
can
make
even
sense
sell
to
her on the
upgrade in
current
that
14,
situation.
then I can maybe even convince her to go Pro.
Yeah.
But my grandmother.
Dad is probably the highest likely to upgrade because he's tended to upgrade.
Yeah,
pretty quickly.
my dad is probably the highest likely to upgrade because he's tended to upgrade pretty quickly for the past couple of years. He had the 7, 10, 10S, 11 Pro for a very short period of time, then the 12 Pro, and now the 13 Pro. And one side note is his 13 Pro's battery health has actually dropped a significant amount. In January, it was at 100, and he got it the day after launch day. But when he got it in January, it dropped to 99. Then February, it dropped to 97. Then March, it dropped. Wait, no, February dropped to 98. Then March 97. And it's still sitting at 97. But it's weird because he doesn't use more than 10% of his battery a day because he always has it plugged into CarPlay. But the thing is, though, it is a 5 watt
Even so, though,
charge current,
you
so
can
it
probably
really
tell
wouldn't
Dad to stop
be
doing
that bad on the
because
battery since it is very
that
slow
is-
charging.
And to use Bluetooth. Yeah, my My dad
He
would
does.
be the same way, because
He does have wireless CarPlay, but he
my
doesn't
dad,
like using it
my
because of
own
connection
my
issues.
personal family car doesn't have CarPlay, but my dad's rented cars in the past that have, and we've tried many times to get CarPlay working, and we've never succeeded. But again, I think that was
Yeah.
back before we
Yeah.
knew that it had to be wired.
Yeah, my dad's car, which is
Yeah, my dad's car, which is probably going to be my car in a few years, has wireless CarPlay, but when he got it, he had his 12 Pro, and wireless CarPlay was just horrible. It would constantly disconnect, the audio quality is weird, it would glitch out, so he's been using wired CarPlay ever since, and his car before that did have
Yeah.
wired CarPlay, and that ended up kind of killing his
Yeah,
battery
'cause-
health on his 10S, but,
well, you would have really,
little side note,
you
I
would have
think that's
really
just because the
enjoyed hearing
10S had,
the last two
a lot of
episodes,
issues.
If the episode of Tech Talks we actually succeeded in recording that would have been a fun. You and Tech Talks would have had gotten in such an argument because his daily phone is a 10s Max.
like I don't blame people for buying a 10s Max when it came out, but nowadays I saw a video by
I don't blame people for buying a 10S Max when it came out, but nowadays, I saw a video by, what's his name? I forgot who he is, but he was saying don't buy the iPhone 10 because the 10S is the same price or cheaper. And I was just thinking, there's a reason it's cheaper. It's because it's physically a worse phone.
Yeah.
It is made with cheaper components. And I tried saying it in the comments, but I think he deleted my comment, which is amazing.
Tyler, let's
200,000 subscriber or more YouTube channel. Deleting a comment from
91 tab?
some random dude. Amazing.
Oh.
No,
Yeah,
Telosif's fine.
I've seen his videos
I think it
before.
might have been Brandon Butch. I think
Yeah.
that's his name, Brandon Butch. Let me look.
Yeah.
yeah, that was it. That was him.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I'm
if you
pretty
had
sure
been,
that's
been able to be on Alpha Day Wolf's episode.
who. Yep, that was it. That was him.
Oh, you guys would have gotten into such a big argument because, first of all, Alpha Day.
I have tried to tell Tech Talks he should not use a 10s Max and he should just trade it in for a 13 Pro. I think he said that he was going to buy a 14 Pro, which understandable.
Yeah.
You know, I still
reason
don't
why
think
he's
that he
actually
should
using his
really
10s
keep the
Max
10s Max. I
because
think he might
it was a
be better off
handheld
selling it on
version
eBay and
of
using his
the
iPhone 8.
10R. Yeah, and so first of all, Alpha Day Wolf in his review on his random Alpha Gadget
Yeah.
channel, when he reviewed the iPhone 10s Max, guess what title he gave it?
Best phone ever.
The best smartphone ever. And what makes it even... What'd you say?
The best phone ever, probably.
If it's the best smartphone ever, then
Well,
Pro Max must be
I mean, if it's the best smartphone ever, then
'cause-
the 11 Pro Max must be like, oh,
yeah,
imagine
because
him
what
with the
makes it
11
even
Pro
worse is
Max.
that he got back in
Actual
July
good battery,
2020 when he could
good
wait for a
cameras.
couple more months
Can't
to get
imagine.
The iPhone 12 Pro Max. But even then, though, I can understand kind of why he didn't like it because he doesn't like the iPhone 11 and higher's camera bump.
I mean, I got rid of my 10s Max in July 2020
I mean, I got rid of my 10s Max in July 2020 actually,
actually.
and I ended up
And
buying an 11 Pro,
kind of
and the
annoying
11 Pro never
for
gave me
Alpha Day
issues,
Wolf
but the
because
10s Max
he's going
did.
to be buying he's going to still be trying to get a 13 Pro Max instead of a 14 Pro Max because or Ultra, whatever they call it, because he does not like the eye hole on the front. But even though that still kind of doesn't make sense because that will. Okay, I guess I should say this now. So the iPhone 14 Pro
See-
display is going to increase from 6.006 inches to 6.112 inches. And the iPhone 12 Pro Max / Ultra display is going to increase from 6.68 inches to 6.69 inches. And in case you don't know, Alpha Day Wolf really values screen real estate, so I think he would probably enjoy the slightly higher screen real estate with the 14 Pro Max.
Now, he strikes me as someone who really uses his phone for everything, a true power user, and that's why I don't
Now,
understand why he doesn't.
he strikes me as someone who really uses his phone for everything, a true power user, and that's why I don't understand why he doesn't just go ahead and buy something like a 12 Pro Max, which will just kill with battery, because
Yeah, and it's not just...
my 12 Pro Max never died.
And what does kind of... Yeah, and what kind of irritates... He does luckily agree with this, but still doesn't want to buy a 14 because of the eye hole, but he does agree with the satellite connectivity, but I still think that might even help him more because he lives in a rural area where he's even stated that even in his neighborhood there are dead cell phone ranges.
So,
Yeah.
in that case, I don't know why you wouldn't just go ahead and buy something more modern,
Yeah.
because, 5G modems are way better, and that would help him in his rural area, having better modems.
Yeah, that is a valid point there.
Well,
so.
yeah, but the modems
I
do
think
get a lot
yeah.
better connectivity. Yeah. Also, I may have to go on mute for a second, like probably 30 seconds, but you can keep talking because my mom just got home from somewhere, so I might have to go on mute for a few seconds. But you can keep talking. I'm listening.
Apple has been
I am
rumored to
muted. Cut this out of the video.
How there have been rumors of Apple making an in-screen Touch ID sensor on their iPhones for years. Yeah. Well, Apple just filed another patent.
Yeah, that's been a rumor since, 2018?
Yeah. I personally think that might be related.
I feel like it might be related to the iPad more than the iPhone. Yeah?
The eye hole, I
Okay.
think is not the greatest choice.
No.
Gold of design. But
Yeah.
Apple's just doing it so that way they don't have to have the second hole punch, so that way they can just have one. Because
Yeah, I
the
agree.
Face ID sensor does take up the second hole punch.
Another thing that I will say is on my Samsung phones with in-display fingerprint reader, they're just slow, and especially on my Pixel 6 when I had that before I returned it, it was not good.
Apple could do it better.
It was horrible.
Apple remastered the touch.
Like, it would constantly fail.
MP3 player. They remastered the tablet. They even remastered the computer.
I hope. If they can make it good, then I will finally, because in my area there's no mask mandate, so Face ID is the definitive option for me because I don't even need to take a mask off or anything to use it. But Touch ID back when there was a mask mandate was pretty much amazing. I used to take my 8 Plus instead of my 11 Pro out whenever I went somewhere, just because of the mask. But now that there's Face ID with mask and no mask mandate, I'm cleared from all that, so Face ID is definitively better for me, personally.
He may. I haven't heard him mention it, but again, I haven't watched.
Oh yeah, doesn't Talos of Tech have that?
Consistently. Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of fell off YouTube, unfortunately.
Yeah, so. So. Bronze is rumored to be.
What else is new in the iPhone 14 rumors?
14 Pro Max. I actually hope bronze replaces the gold just for
I don't
some
hate it,
flip-up.
but I don't love it either. I've been thinking for the past couple of years that gold is the kind of most solid color. But I did get a silver iPhone, which I know you don't like, but I actually really like the kind of solid color that it has. It reminds me of the iPhone 4's silver, or the iPhone 4's white.
one thing I'm not too sold on with the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max is that the colors are going to would be purple, gold, silver, and space gray. And there's not, and unlike blue, and in case you're wondering, the only non-bland colors are kind of ladies' colors.
Yeah, the last good black iPhone,
Yeah,
iPhone was
the last good black iPhone, like like Pro kind of iPhone, was the iPhone 10 Space Gray,
Yeah, I think it looked
because
pretty good too.
it was a lighter type of space gray, but it still looked great. I loved that color.
way darker than the 11 Pro's.
Unfortunately, iPhones above that made it way darker. Then the 11 Pro's space gray made it so ugly.
Yeah, my mom
I
has
hate to
never
say it, but
gone for space gray.
space gray iPhone 11
device
Pro is
because
just
she
not
considers
it.
space gray to be a darker silver,
Yeah, I can see it.
and
I
that's
do think that the midnight green color was very close to space
Yeah, I
gray.
can see it. I do think that the midnight
yeah.
green color was
I rock that
very close
too.
to space gray back in
And
2019 with the 11 Pro.
yeah, and I could tell the
Yeah,
difference.
I
It
could
still
almost not
looks
tell
a
the
lot
difference
like
sometimes.
a little too much like space gray.
Yeah, they should have made space gray a lot darker.
Yeah, and funny
Yeah, they
enough,
should have
my
made
mom,
space gray a
back when
lot
she was
darker.
still considering getting a Mac before she actually did, she was originally planning on She didn't like how MacBooks were silver, and that most of the time the only other option was space gray, which of course she considers a darker silver.
Yeah. Personally, I do have a silver MacBook Pro, and I enjoy using it.
I have a silver
Yeah.
MacBook Pro too. In fact,
Personally, I do have a silver MacBook Pro, and I enjoy using it.
Space gray next time.
But I probably,
Yeah, because I have my
yeah, I
2019
probably would
MacBook
get space
Pro,
gray next
my
time just to
2012
change it
MacBook
up,
Pro
though.
doesn't work, and my 2010 MacBook Pro does work.
Yeah, I only have this MacBook Pro right now, and I think that's it.
Yeah, I only have this MacBook Pro right now, and
Windows 7 laptop.
I think that's it. I think this is
Yeah.
my only computer
I
right
have a
now,
bunch
other
of
than my
computers
Dell
too,
Windows 7 laptop.
such as a netbook, a Windows XP netbook that is my mom's old one. She got it back around 2008, but she didn't use it for very long because she didn't like the screen size, and also she did not really like the small keyboard.
Yeah.
And I also have two Lenovo ThinkPads, one of which is the one
Oh,
from
yeah.
2012, which is my daily driver from August to February. It runs Windows 10, and its battery sucks, and its hard drive is also dying. And its Wi-Fi is also weird.
Yeah, so that's pretty much garbage.
But I have a ThinkPad,
Yeah.
another ThinkPad that
Yeah, so that's pretty
my
much
dad ordered
garbage.
after he gave me his other ThinkPad that I was using to use for school because I needed a computer fast. But so my dad ordered another one that didn't turn on at all, and that is my other ThinkPad. I know it's slightly newer because it has a USB-C port and doesn't have that weird exterior battery like my 2012 one does.
Yeah.
And I also have a Windows 7,
Yeah.
really big Toshiba Windows 7 laptop that's 17 inches. My mom got it back in the summer of 2010, and she gave it to my dad because she didn't like this huge screen size. And it is such a slow computer to use. It has all my dad's old stuff on it, which is why I keep it.
Windows computers are pretty slow.
Yeah, a lot of those old Windows computers.
And the
A lot of those
install
old
is
Windows
so
computers
bloated that I
are
can't
pretty
even
slow.
upgrade the web browser on it. And not all the keys on it, on the keyboard work, so I'm probably going to have to
Oh,
do
wow.
some major refurbishing work to that PC.
Yeah.
Like reinstalling a clean copy of Windows 7.
One that's not
Yeah.
all kinds of
Yeah.
garbage.
Oh yeah, and even the taskbar
One that's not
is
bloated with all kinds of
proper.
garbage.
That sounds like a OEM
Oh, wow. Yeah, it
Yeah,
sounds
but
like
the
a
weird part about that PC is that
OEM
it
Windows
actually
copy.
connects to my Wi-Fi just fine, but my 2011 Windows 7 desktop that you see in most of my downgrade tutorials, that does not connect to Wi-Fi by default without an external key.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
Yeah.
My PC collection is not exactly the greatest, but it isn't the worst either.
It's definitely something.
Yeah, there's also a few other random PCs
But
around the house.
it's definitely
but
something.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah. My family got rid of all their PCs. They recycled them with Best Buy right before I got into tech era.
Yeah.
And
My family got rid of all their PCs. They recycled them with Best Buy right before I got into tech around 2010,
Yeah, my mom
which is
actually
unfortunate
has her
because there was a
old
lot of cool PCs that I could have got a lot of old data off.
It's a 90s PC. My mom actually has a 90s PC in my grandmother's in my aunt's old closet, which is at my grandmother's house, and someday I might actually dig into that, take a look at that, but I'll obviously have to check to make sure there's no leaky capacitors
Oh, wow.
on it or anything.
yeah.
Because old PCs, in case you don't know, tend to have really leaky capacitors. I'll also have
Yeah.
to check for clock batteries.
Yeah.
Just old PC stuff. If you watch a YouTuber like the Computer Clan, the 8-Bit Guy, or
Yeah.
the Electrical Outlet.
Yeah, I have a computer from 2009 with a few busted up capacitors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a computer from
Yeah.
2009 with a few busted up
By the way, I
capacitors.
recommend checking out all those channels. And that noise returned. Okay, so you know how the Apple TV has always been kind of expensive?
For its category, yeah.
For
Well, Apple's now going to launch cheaper Apple
For
TV
its
in the
category,
second half
yeah.
of this year.
Is it gonna be one that plugs into the back of the TV, like a little stick?
I don't know.
Is it gonna
nobody's too
be
sure about
one that
but
plugs
it's gonna
into the
be a
back of the
cheap Apple
TV,
TV,
like a little stick?
which I think is a pretty good idea, since considering the way the Apple TV evolved from a nice media center sort of gadget to just a basic overpriced streaming box that can play games, even though we all know that is not Apple's strong suit. Yeah, I don't think.
About the gaming features.
Yeah, I don't think that the Apple TV
Yeah, they don't care
is
about the
exactly
gaming features.
really in a great state right now, so I think making it cheap might help, but at the same time, considering there's already Rokus and Fire Sticks, I can't imagine Apple being able to get.
Do is just make good software, because right now they have horrible software.
Yeah, I think what they need to do is just make good software. Because right now they have horrible software on that thing. Like, it's been the same since, what, 2014?
Yeah,
And it's not
I kinda wish
horrible
Apple TVs
software.
would use
It's
the
just not amazing.
the old front row interface.
Yeah, with a modernized version of that.
Well, it could even be skeuomorphic like the old front row, you know.
Yeah, with a modernized
Uses
version of
too,
that.
'cause I want skeuomorphism to come back, as we all know.
I do want that to come back, but the one issue with that is that it wouldn't match with any of the iPhones.
I do want that to come back, but the one issue with that is that it wouldn't match with any of the iPhones and iPads and Macs and Apple Watches and
Yeah,
PowerBook
skeuomorphism would
G3s
look
of this
outdated at
world.
first, but it wouldn't take long for companies to follow suit. Because, I mean, Apple removed the headphone jack and power brick, and they made it flat, and companies followed suit.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, and again, I still have a strange feeling
Yeah.
that skeuomorphism is going to come back this year. I know there are no rumors for that, but I just feel that skeuomorphism is going to return to iOS or some sort of Apple software. It's just a strange feeling that I have, because it's the 15-year anniversary of iOS and the 10-year anniversary of iOS 6, the last skeuomorphic iOS.
Yeah, hopefully you'll be
Apple's
right.
also kind of going backwards, so it would only make valid sense.
Yeah, I hope they.
Some sort of a high power mode so you can get better.
Yeah, I hope that they add some sort of a high power mode so you can get better
everyone knows
better, I guess,
really want
frame rates on games and stuff.
probably still
Because
gonna get
everyone knows
plus.
if you really want high power mode on iOS, you'll probably still be able to get through 10 days plus, a million years of battery life because, the batteries don't die unless
Yeah,
you
and another
literally don't charge them.
yeah, and Orange just meowed in the background, but
Yeah, I heard that.
and so well, yeah, I suppose I
Yeah, I
could
heard
see
that.
skeuomorphism making a comeback, but Orange.
It would require almost a full OS redesign.
It would require, yeah,
It
because
would require
what
almost
also
a
Apple
full
also
OS
took
redesign.
other classic elements of iOS, like the old charge sound, the slide to unlock.
Yeah, the charge sound, that is not been changed since
Yeah, the
iOS
charge
7.
sound,
They
that
didn't
is
they even just change that
not
back
been
to the
changed
old
since
one?
iOS 7, I believe.
They need to change
And
it to something better because, man, every time I hear that, it's just the
they
same
need to
thing
change it
over
to
and over.
something modern
And
because,
even Macs have it
man, every time
now.
I hear that, it's just
Yeah,
the same thing
and
over and over.
the part that I don't understand is why they don't just change up the
Yeah,
OS because
and
we've
the
been
part
trying
that
to
I
do
don't
that
understand is why they don't just
Yeah,
and
change
iOS
up
7
the OS
already
because we've been looking at the same thing
yeah.
for 9 years
And with
almost.
Johnny Ive leaving
And
Apple and
iOS
becoming
7
Apple
I've always
now,
thought was ugly.
it would kind of, and considering that he designed iOS 7, it would only make sense for skeuomorphism to return.
Yeah, if that Scott guy, whatever his last name was, returned to Apple.
Yeah, if that Scott guy, whatever his
Scott
last name was,
Forstall, but
returned to Apple, then we would
we
probably
have to
get
decide
skeuomorphism.
whether that's the most important thing to us, or whether having a GPS app that will throw us people in the water is more important to us. And him not apologizing, because that's actually the story of how skeuomorphism
Yeah.
vanished. All because Scott Forstall screwed up.
He wouldn't
Yeah.
apologize. And I don't think they should have fired him up because of that.
He wouldn't
Again,
apologize,
Again,
but I don't think they should have fired him up because of that.
I think they legally had to, though, because
I think they should have just got rid of that stupid Apple Maps
sent
feature.
people into lake to drown. So I think for legal reasons they probably had to.
Then why would they try to make him apologize for it if they're just gonna fire him anyway?
They probably.
Then why would they
think
try to make him
legally either had
apologize
to
for it if they're just gonna
apologize or
fire
else
him
he was
anyway?
fired. Like, I think that was probably the legal stuff behind it.
It's like a weird legal.
There must be some sort of weird legal
Seems like a
reason behind that.
weird legal reason.
But we're not here to talk about about laws. We're here to talk about tech.
Yeah.
And so, remember back in 2012 when Apple released a Lightning to 30-pin adapter, so that way people would still use their old 30-pin accessories with their iPhone 5, iPod Touch 5, iPad Mini 1, and iPad 4s.
Yep.
Well, when Apple switches to USB-C with the iPhone 15, they're going to launch a USB-C to Lightning adapter. Unsurprisingly.
I don't think they're ever gonna switch to USB-C. I still don't because we said.
I don't think they're ever going to switch to USB-C. I still don't because we said iPhone XS will have USB-C. iPhone 11 will have USB-C. iPhone 12 will have USB-C. iPhone 13 Pros will have USB-C, but we never see them. And it's like every single year we say 1 year ahead we'll get USB-C, but we never get USB-C.
So that's why people are more confident about it.
If they do, then I will be happy because I'm getting tired of Lightning 2.
If they do, then I will be happy because I'm getting tired of Lightning 2.
Going to if Apple is forced to switch to USB-C by the EU, I think they would likely just make that on EU models.
Yeah, or they're gonna go to QI.
And they're going to go to QI.
Which I'm not happy about.
Yeah, or they're going to go to QI, Qi wireless charging.
Any form for MagSafe to be.
Yeah, I would not like
Yeah,
in
and
any form
and the
for
sad part is
MagSafe to
that-
be the definitive charging
Yeah.
method.
Yeah, and the sad part
because
is that,
I don't like MagSafe.
you know, companies will follow suit on that.
Yep.
Hmm?
And MagSafe already, I think, is just honestly not good.
Yep.
Because
And MagSafe already, I think, is just honestly not good because every bit of MagSafe that I've used has just been bad. Like, I've tried using MagSafe so many times, it's slow, and it's just wireless
The
charging
wallets
with
fall
more
off
wattage.
constantly. That's why my mom actually stopped using MagSafe wallets.
And then you have the MagSafe power bank, which doesn't even work correctly with the 13 Pro.
And then you have the MagSafe power bank, which doesn't even work correctly with the 13 Pro, as I've tried with my own personal experience, and it's almost left me with a dead iPhone. Because I didn't know I was going somewhere, so I didn't charge my phone. And then I got it, and I put it on. It drained 20% while using the MagSafe power pack. So
Yeah.
that
Well,
entire
the little
accessory is a
card
whole
next to my computer,
useless,
Beatrice is now in the
useless item.
podcast.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, in case you don't know, there are no cats that are
Oh, that's
here on
pretty
my
cool.
podcast.
I'm sure in the video version, it's gonna be a lot.
Yeah, in the video version,
Yeah,
there's a lot of
I'm
cats.
sure in the video version,
And
it's gonna
in
be
the
a
audio
lot.
version, if they meow, there's also a lot of them too.
Yeah, they're pretty cool animals.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah, they're pretty cool animals.
now, so remember how there are rumors for new Macs coming out at WWDC 2022?
Yeah, like the new MacBook Air.
Yeah. Well, part of iOS 15.5, part of the code for that
Yeah, like
includes
the new
support
MacBook
for
Air,
unreleased
I think.
Macs, hence confirming that Macs will be coming out at WWDC.
I think that's the first hardware announcement in WWDC since 2019.
Yeah.
I think that's the first hardware announcement in
That's pretty
WWDC since 2019.
Well, I guess in 2020 they did. I guess in 2020
That's cool.
didn't in WWDC.
Hopefully they
2020,
will.
Apple announced that they're officially going to go to Apple Silicon.
Oh, yeah. So technically they did.
And they released the.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, so technically they did announce the developer transition kit.
It was just.
That was an amazing WWDC. I would say that WWDC 2020 was great.
That was an amazing WWDC. I will say that. WWDC 2020 was great.
And some kind of disappointing software.
Yeah, I will be honest. I don't know. I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, I will be honest. I don't know. I'm being completely honest. I don't remember what they announced in Monterey. iOS 15, they did a new weather app, and what else? Oh, yeah. So pretty much a bunch of stuff for FaceTime. Hopefully this year we will get some more stuff. Hopefully this year they'll redesign the settings app and make it a bit better, since there is a lot more options now than there was on iOS 1 when this settings interface was kind of pioneered.
Yeah, and so I'm pretty.
The settings interface has been the same forever, other than switching to a flat UI.
Since the settings interface has been the same forever, other than switching to a flat UI, it's been the exact same. The same list and all. Same icons pretty much too, just now they're like iOS 7 flat.
The ones for iPhone settings had a white and blue theme.
I remember that one of my friends got iOS 7 beta on an iPhone 4.
I remember that one of my friends got iOS 7 beta
Yeah,
on an
iOS 7
iPhone
beta
4
is pretty
at one
interesting,
point
so I'll
a
have
few
to-
years back.
I'll at some point have to try to install it and do a YouTube video on it. Because there is a way to get it.
I actually have an iPhone 5S on iOS 7 at the moment.
Yeah,
You're so
I actually have an iPhone 5S on iOS 7 at the moment.
Wow, you're actually pretty lucky there because you're not on 10.3.
You're actually pretty lucky there because you're not on 10.3.3, which is downgradable.
I would probably restore it. But since I'm on 10.3.2 and my grandmother wouldn't be too happy about me erasing the phone
Yeah.
it's her old one, it would be. I'm keeping it on 10.3.2.
Yeah. Hopefully you'll never update that because 10.3.2 is a
Yeah. Hopefully
I
you'll
won't
never update that
it.
because 10.3.2 is a pretty cool operating
You're talking
system.
to me. I don't. You're talking to the YouTuber who has
Yeah.
a million downgrade tutorials on his channel.
Yeah. I have a bunch of old iOS devices that I just
Yeah.
forget about.
I have a bunch of old iOS devices that I just kind of forget about. I think I actually have some old Android devices on their original firmware now too, but those are way less interesting.
Yeah, and if you haven't already tried downgrading a lot of your old stuff, you should try because because I have plenty of tutorials on my channel to help you.
Yeah, I was thinking about downgrading an iPhone 4.
Yeah, I was thinking about downgrading an
I also
iPhone
have
4.
tutorials for I also have tutorials for the 5C, 4S, 3GS, 3G, and even the 2G.
Yeah, I have a 3GS on iOS 3, but it won't activate for whatever reason.
Yeah, I have a 3GS on iOS 3, but it won't activate for whatever reason. Is there any way to bypass that?
Yeah. It's a Canadian model, so I put a FIDO SIM card in it, which is apparently
Yeah.
what the carrier was.
It's a Canadian model, so I put a FIDO SIM card in it, which is apparently what the carrier was, and for whatever reason, it still is not activating. It's a 16 gigabyte model in perfect condition. Looks like it was never used. It's black, unfortunately, but, well, that sounded way wrong, but it's a black iPhone. But, that sounded way wrong out of context.
It's a pretty nice device.
Yeah.
I've had it for a few
But
months.
yeah, it's a pretty nice device, but I've had it for a few months, can't activate it, so it's just been sitting in my phone pile to get worked out.
I'm afraid, what you can do is on my downgrade tutorial, you can restore it to a custom IPSW.
Yeah, that's what I thought I would have to do. So
Yeah.
I'll probably end up doing that.
Yeah, because you can go to 3.1.
Yeah, that's what I thought I would have to do, so I'll probably end up doing that.
There's even some iOS 3.0 and 3.0.1 for the
Yeah.
ROM models are supposedly signed, but I need to do a lot of experimenting with different iTunes versions to get that working, alongside getting the iPhone 3G down to iOS 2. I need to do officially because I want to do a lot because those are all supposedly signed. Yeah, I need to figure out how I can get everything. So I need to figure out what iTunes versions I need. And also to try to even get the iPhone 2G down to iOS 2.
iOS 2 was... I can't remember what they added, but...
The App Store. And
iOS 2 was...
and parental
I can't remember what they added, but it's...
That probably was one of the biggest upgrades because of the App
So
Store.
technically that probably was one of the biggest upgrades because of the App Store. Yeah, it did change the world.
Yeah, so there are plenty. Don't worry about my lack of downgrade tutorials on my channel. I do prefer the white iPhone 3G. I do prefer the white iPhone 3G.
Oh, I just realized my cat was under my desk this whole time.
In the long run, I prefer the black ones.
Yeah, my cat has been under my desk this whole time, actually. I didn't notice it until now.
What breed is he?
Yeah, he's a cool cat. I got him a laser. He's a domestic short hair tabby mix, I believe.
Who is right by me is just a
I bought him a laser pointer yesterday. Yeah, Milo's massive though, as you've probably seen on his photos. Yeah, Milo weighs about that. He's huge. He's a nice cat.
And Stormy is second.
That's
and
cool.
Hazy, my really orange cat, is third.
That's cool.
Is Hazy oranger than orangey?
Oh yes, he's very orange. And in case
Is Hazy oranger than orangey?
Him orangey, it's because Hazy is younger than Orangey.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because I've had Orangey, Stormy, and
Makes
Sugar
sense.
because they're all brothers. I've had them since 2014. And I've also had their mother, Molly, since 2014.
That's cool.
Oh wow, so they're
Yeah, I've had Milo since 2017.
Yeah.
that's
I
cool.
didn't actually get any.
Yeah, I've had
pets
Milo
that
since
year.
2017.
Oh wow. Yeah, Milo was free actually.
He was free.
I did get some new.
Oh wow.
I did
Yeah,
temporarily
Milo was
adopt
free
their
actually.
3 kittens, but they went to homes in 2018.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've done that with a lot of cats in my house, just to
Oh,
keep
nice.
cat population in my house under control.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. That's
And
good.
So, speaking of iOS 16, what's actually rumored to come with is new ways to interact in new Apple design apps.
So pretty much just accessibility features.
Yeah, and
So pretty much
these-
just
these
accessibility
new
features.
accessibility features, which Apple already announced, are going to be door detection, so that way you can set to detect your specific doorbell if your devices don't detect it already. You can AirPlay your Apple Watch to your iPhone. There's quick options in the Apple Watch. Live captions. You can now control 2 controllers as 1 input in games. VoiceOver brings new languages such as Ukrainian and Vietnamese. VoiceOver dictation is now going to give spelling. And so, yeah.
What I don't understand is why they keep
Yeah.
all these features.
What I don't understand is why they keep doing all these features that only impact a couple people. But if they added something like a redesign, that would impact everyone. But these like health and accessibility features only impact a
And it's
select
nice that
couple
Apple's
people,
doing it,
like a
but-
select group.
Yeah, but it's more of a kind of midway through the year update, like a point.
Yeah, but it's more of a
You know?
kind of midway through the year update, like a
Yeah, and
point
so,
1, point 3, you
Apple-
know? One of those
Assuming
updates.
that Apple isn't planning on bringing skeuomorphism back, and they're planning on not doing anything exciting, WWDC 22, the software part of it is gonna blow.
Yeah, it's almost like if they're gonna discontinue the 6S this year.
Yeah, it's almost like if they're gonna discontinue the 6S this year for something as small as this,
If they're not gonna do anything
it'll kind of be
accessibility features,
a
then
bad update because
why would
if they're not gonna do anything except for accessibility features, then
Well,
imagine if the
why would they discontinue the 6S? Because imagine if the 6S gets another year. Just picture this. The headline saying iPhone 6S going on its,
or
what
the
is it,
iPad Air
8th
2
year.
even, 'cause if all
with
they're doing
iOS
is
updates.
accessibility features, then that'll be physically capable of doing it too, going to iOS.
Oh, yeah.
16 too.
Yeah, all these old devices. Like I was thinking.
Yeah, all these
Maybe the iPod Touch.
Yeah, all these old devices. Like I was thinking
Yeah.
maybe the iPod Touch what is it, 6 or 7? I think we were on 7. That's been discontinued, but I'm pretty sure they discontinued that because in 2019 they discontinued the Touch 6 because it wasn't going to get iOS 13. So maybe in
again,
2022 they're going to discontinue the
But
Touch
again,
7
though,
because
you
it
have
won't
to
get
consider the
iOS
fact that
16.
If
Just
all
some
Apple's
theory.
doing is accessibility, there will be no, then everybody, then I can guarantee you, especially since all these devices are vulnerable to checkmate exploit, that I think that this will be record breaking because this will have been the first major time that people will have been able to get a newer version of iOS actually running on a device that was supposedly unsupported.
Yeah. I know
'Cause-
that. Do you know who Night Tiger is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that do you know who Night Tiger is?
A long history with him harassing me.
Well, other than my long history with him harassing me, my friends, and my family, he actually did fake getting iOS 13 on an iPhone 6 back in 2019, but he admitted to everyone that it was fake a few days after because people started to call him out on it.
As the only time so far that somebody has successfully gotten a newer version of iOS running on an iOS device that supposedly wasn't supported was the iPod Touch 4. People have gotten them to go to iOS 7.
I believe.
Oh, yeah.
One also had something like that.
I believe the iPad 1 also had something like that,
No, it did
where
not.
I think it went up to
You can take a
iOS
People have tried that. That has not worked.
Unsupported.
I think what happened is that iOS 6 had a component in it that required a camera.
Possibly, yeah.
So Apple dropped support for the iPad.
Possibly,
iPod
yeah.
Touch 3.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, that would make sense.
But we know, so, remember how we were talking about that iOS 16 is probably going to blow?
Yeah.
Well, the worst part, it may not blow because the good news is that the public beta has been delayed until July with beta 3 instead of beta 2 like the normal cycle because of stability issues. Meaning,
so we might get another iOS 13 here.
Wow.
yeah.
So we might get
be
another
something
iOS
big
13
hiding
here.
underneath this operating system that we just don't know.
Yeah. I have
But
a question for you.
yeah,
What do you think was the
Yeah.
best?
I have a question for you.
From what you can tell.
What do you think was the best iOS beta from what you can tell?
Was the best iOS beta?
What do you think was the best iOS beta?
probably iOS 7 beta because it still has
Like
bits of iOS 6
iOS 11?
in it.
Yeah. Personally, I think iOS 14 beta was probably the best.
Yeah.
It might
Personally, I think iOS 14 beta was probably the best. It might just be because it was the first time in years that I had a flagship iPhone for the betas,
Yeah.
but it really was a nice beta.
will be testing the developer beta of iOS.
And I will be testing the developer beta
I will
of
too.
iOS 16 on my main phone.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The reason why I'm
On your
doing
main?
it is because I'll have to update my iPhone
Oh,
to
wow.
16 anyways.
That's cool.
Because I'll be getting the Apple Watch Series 8.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
By the way, in case you're
Oh,
wondering why
yeah.
I'm coughing so much, it's because
Yeah, that makes
I've
sense.
gotten hacked by the allergies.
That's unfortunate.
Is Milo meowing?
Ah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, he just woke up from his little nap.
That's a cat for
Now
you.
he's laying on me.
Yeah, he's making a lot of noise right now. He's freaking out.
This is the first time that Milo is actually.
Yeah, he's making
appeared
a
on
lot
the
of noise right now.
podcast.
He's freaking out.
I think so. Oh, he's freaking out. Oh, he's taking off. He's running.
I think so.
Maybe he
Oh, he's
doesn't like the
freaking
sound
out.
of my voice.
Oh, he's taking off. He's running.
He's mad for whatever reason. I think maybe because I woke him up.
Yeah.
He's
he
mad
does-
for whatever
cats
reason.
do
I
get
think maybe
mad
because I
about
woke him
that.
up.
Because Orangey's currently sleeping, and so if I. And so, did you hear that he just meowed when I pet him? Yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made a noise.
So, yeah, that's a classic That's a classic thing with cats is that you have to let them sleep, even if they're doing it, even if they're sitting on my microphone cable.
Yeah.
Which, in case you,
Likes to sleep all over the place.
Yeah, Milo likes to sleep all over the place. He sleeps on my bed. He sleeps under my bed. He
cats
sleeps.
do that all
He
the
walked
time.
across
They
my
sleep on
computer
the
a while
bed,
ago.
and they don't sleep under the bed.
Yeah, Milo used to love to sleep under my bed.
Yeah, Milo used to love to sleep under my bed. It'd be so hard to get him out.
Exactly get under the bed anymore, but he was actually born under the bed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because
Now Milo's trying to open the door. My cat actually
Oh, wow.
opened the door.
Now Milo's trying to open the door. My cat actually knows how to open the door.
Oh, that's cool.
My Great Pyrenees.
Oh, that's cool.
My parents have 2 dogs.
Yeah. My parents have 2 dogs.
There's
There's a poodle. Well, both of them have poodle in them, but one of them is a poodle cocker spaniel. One of them's a poodle maltese.
Yeah. Yeah, Mabel I've had since 2013 when I got
Yeah,
her
some
when
weird
she was a
animals.
puppy. And I have 3 other dogs. A basset hound named Jack that I got when he was
that's
a puppy
cool.
back in 2009. A Newfoundland named Big Mike that I got back in November 2015, back when he was also a puppy.
What's his name?
Big Mike.
Oh, nice.
And then
What's
I
his
have
name? Oh, nice.
Jack is actually snoring out there. He snores very loudly, but... And then I have another dog named Dixie, who is a mutt. I've had
Yeah.
her since August of 2015, and she's 11 years old, but she's very active.
That's cool. Yeah, my dad's
That's cool.
poodle dog is
Yeah, my dad's
10 this year.
Cocker Spaniel poodle dog is 10 this year,
22.
and the other dog is like, what year is it? 2022, so 7.
And so, remember how we were talking about how the iPhone 14 will switch to USB-C?
Yeah.
Or the 15, excuse me. The 14 will not be going USB-C.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought it was a few months back, but apparently not now.
Yeah, we thought it was a
Well,
few months back,
Apparently
but
all accessories
apparently
and
not
products
now.
that use the Lightning port are going to switch to USB-C by the end of 2023, including the Magic Mouse, the Magic Keyboard.
AirPods.
Yeah.
Hopefully the
AirPods.
Hopefully the AirPods Pro will get fast charging because
The battery on my AirPods Pro
Yeah,
is
be-
becoming unusable.
for me now. And Apple refuses to do anything.
It lasts about an hour and a half for me now,
Yeah.
and Apple
My
refuses to
AirPods
do
Pro
anything
battery
about
is
it.
Decent, but it's not the. But its battery is not as good as on my AirPods too.
Yeah, I am using my AirPods Max right now.
Yeah, I am using my
I kinda
AirPods
want
Max
those,
right
but
now.
At the same time, they're $550.
Yeah, I did get a great deal on them, as I said a few
Yeah, I did get a great deal on them, as I said a few videos
one
ago.
thing I do
For what I
hope.
paid, I think it's worth it.
So.
And for what I
One thing
paid, I
do
think
hope is
it's
that the Magic
worth it.
Mouse and the Magic Keyboard actually get some pretty major overhauls with the switch to
Yeah,
USB-C.
I have one friend who's always mad that it charges on the
Yeah, I
personally.
have one friend who's always mad that it charges on the bottom. Personally, it takes like 10 minutes to charge,
Yeah,
so you
but
can do it
still,
overnight.
That's still kind of a stupid design, so let's hope they put it on the sides this time.
Yeah, but they would have to completely redesign the entire internals to put it anywhere else, because at the top it couldn't fit on the like actual top, because that's where the laser is. If you put the laser down, then you'd have to rework the battery, and then if you put the laser near the bottom, that would kind of mess with the mouse's sensitivity. So the laser's pretty much perfect where it is, and if you make the mouse thicker, then it'll completely take a redesign to it, and it's pretty much just a
And I
mess
also
how
hope
they have
that
it designed.
RGB backlighting comes to the Magic Keyboard and the Magic Mouse.
Yeah, seems like backlighting would be cool, but RGB just
Yeah,
doesn't
seems like backlighting would be
Yeah,
cool,
that does
but
not
RGB just does not seem like something Apple would do.
I have no idea.
Since my keyboard actually does have RGB, and I have no idea how to control it, so it's always on blue.
Yeah, and so remember how we were talking about VR a little while ago?
Yeah.
Well, for stars, I hate to break this to you.
Yeah.
One of my former classmates has officially joined the metaverse. He got an Oculus headset for his birthday.
Oh man.
But you want to know actually something interesting
Oh,
about the
man.
metaverse? So, did you know that Sony tried to create their
What's with
same
it?
a similar thing to be used on the PlayStations back years ago, but that got discontinued back in 2015.
I think maybe I've heard about it, I'm not sure.
Metaverse has already failed once, so there's no way. So it's probably gonna fail again.
Yeah, it's like this Mark Zuckerberg guy thinks that just because he's
Yeah, it's like this Mark Zuckerberg guy thinks that just because he's Mark Zuckerberg, everything that he makes is gonna be successful.
Meta just had after announcing the metaverse, Meta had a $230 billion loss, aka the biggest company loss in history.
Yeah, because the metaverse is stupid.
And besides, we've already seen
Yeah, it's
something
because
like
the
that
metaverse
happen
is
in a film
stupid.
called The Matrix, and it did not result in a good outcome.
Yeah, it never will either because nobody wants to sit all day on a VR headset.
Yeah, it never will either because nobody wants to sit all day on a VR headset. I mean, how are they gonna pay their house bills? You know, this Mark Zuckerberg guy has no idea that people actually have to
Well,
work
I guess
for
his
actual
idea is
physical
that everybody
items.
will work in the metaverse too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think the metaverse is a smart
Yeah.
I think it's just
I don't think the metaverse is a smart thing. I think it's just useless, waste of
The
time.
metaverse is not exactly a good idea, but supposedly that's the future.
Yeah.
apparently it is.
Does Orangey think
Apparently.
that the metaverse is the future?
Apparently it is.
I hope not.
I don't think.
I hope
does.
not.
There's currently no gadgets for cats anyways, so I don't think Orangey will really care.
Unless it's one of those automated litter boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Unless it's one of those automated litter boxes.
Oh yeah, I got one of those yesterday for my cat.
Oh yeah, I got one of those yesterday for my cat.
Yeah, and so, well, the point that I was trying to get to was that the internal team has had issues with Apple's mixed reality headset with its development, because first of all,
Yeah.
there's battery issues, of course.
Yeah, because running two 4K displays would give a
And
lot of
so,
issues
in
if
order
it's a
to keep
VR
it
headset.
even more secretive than the original iPhone, development is occurring in Sunnyside instead of Apple Park.
Wow.
Which, in other words,
It's being kept secretive right now.
Wow.
which is pretty
Doesn't
bad,
seem like
'cause
it's
even
being
the
kept
original iPhone
secretive
was
right
worked
now.
on in Apple's headquarters,
Yeah.
and yet the hardware team didn't know what
Yeah.
the software was, and the software team didn't know what the hardware was. Hasn't Apple ever heard of a lock?
Yeah.
Like a physical lock.
Yeah. That was an issue.
For what though?
Yeah. For what though?
To keep it a secret.
Yeah.
And so Apple
yeah.
is having issues getting help.
Yeah.
By
So.
the way, are you typing?
Yeah. I guess so.
No, I'm just doing some schoolwork on my Mac.
No, I'm just doing some schoolwork on my Mac in the
Doing 2 things
background.
at once.
Yeah, I've got a lot of schoolwork to do.
Yeah, luckily.
Yeah, I've
tomorrow's
got a
actually
lot of
my last
schoolwork
day
to
of
do.
school.
Oh, nice.
For-
You're lucky.
Yeah, for
I gotta
this.
do school.
Oh, nice. You're
How come?
lucky. I gotta
you
do
fail
school all
those
summer.
classes, or do you have year-round school?
I do online.
No, I'm
Not public.
I do online school, which is not public, and I have to do more to catch up because I didn't do enough in the school
Yeah.
year, unfortunately. So
Yeah, my mother might not like you if she met you, because my mom is definitely not fond of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was hard for me this year because for a good amount of the year.
yeah, it was hard for me this year because
The issues and stuff.
for a good amount of the year my computer was giving me issues and stuff,
Yeah,
and
that I can
it's hard to do it on my
Why don't you
phone.
just return back to regular school?
Because I would go back a grade, and also
Because I would go back a grade, and also because it's really hard because my area is horrible. Like, my area's got so much crime, so it would just be a mess having to go back to that.
Anyways, is there anything else?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's plenty of stuff.
Anyways, is there anything else that we should cover in this?
Yeah. So, actually, Tech
Alright.
Talks did state this on when we thought we were recording the next episode, but he stated that that Apple should just work on glasses instead.
I don't think they should really work on any of this AR stuff.
I don't think they should really work on any of this AR stuff. I think they should just kind of let it go for now and then
other stuff like
work on it whenever they
Yeah.
master other stuff
And I
like the
can understand
iPhones and the
why Apple wants
iPads.
to do it because Apple is getting criticisms for not being innovative. I mean, even like Ayala said that when he was on the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, people say that all the time, but then they end up going.
I mean, people say that all the time, but then they end up going and buying the newest iPhone and the newest iPads. You know, Apple still does innovate. No matter what, Apple still does innovate. 13 Pro's cameras are, in my opinion, best in class.
Yeah.
Like, you really can't beat them.
Amazing color accuracy. The phones themselves are just
They've got amazing color accuracy. The phones themselves are just amazing.
very, very hard to beat. Such a
You know,
nice phone.
it's very, very hard to beat
Unless it's on
such a
iOS
nice
15,
phone
I
like the
do not
13
want
Pro.
it.
Oh yeah, that'll kill any iOS device. That's why I bought an S22.
Oh yeah, that'll kill any iOS device. That's why I bought an S22
Yeah.
actually, because
I think we should switch back
15.3.1
to
was so
15.3.1
horrible.
for a week.
Oh man, if I did that.
On the iPhone.
Oh man, if I did that.
One right now, actually.
Oh. I think I'm on
You should actually switch back to
15.4.1 right now
15.1
actually.
on the iPhone XS Max and use it for a week. I know you love that.
Oh man.
Keyboard MacBook too, because
Yeah, with a butterfly keyboard
Yeah,
MacBook too because, oh man, I had one of those back in the day and, oh, I have a very, very long history with that thing.
Got a 13-inch 2019 MacBook Pro and it's had no issues with its butterfly keyboard so far.
if you're very, very careful, you won't have that many issues.
If you're very, very careful, you won't have that many issues, but
There's gonna have some,
it's inevitable because at some point you're gonna have some sort of dust or something get into the keyboard, so it's
Yeah,
literally
and
inevitable
in
to
fact,
have
my
that
mom
happen.
Until I told her what the butterfly keyboard was, she didn't even know what
And
it
it-
was.
and it sucks because it felt like such a nice keyboard.
Yeah, it sucks because it felt like such a nice keyboard.
Yeah.
I loved typing on that
Getting back
keyboard.
on track to what I was talking about about kind of the future. So Apple is I don't see this VR stuff or these glasses going anywhere.
Yeah, I think that the geek goggles aren't really gonna go
Yeah, I think that the geek goggles aren't really gonna go anywhere because Apple's not gonna know who to market it towards, and the tech people won't really want to invest in it because nobody else is, but the normal people aren't really going to know what it is and really care about it.
Yeah, because like with the original
So it just
iPad,
doesn't
tech
really
enthusiasts
have a
didn't
market.
Really understand it, but consumers did.
Yes, this is pretty much the opposite because tech people are
Yes, this is pretty much the opposite because tech people are going to say, obviously, go check this out, but it all depends on the pricing too, because if they price it insanely high,
Yeah.
probably nobody will buy it, because people don't like to take chances like that. Unless it's the iPhone 10, that thing had absolute insane sales, and that thing was just a
Yeah.
great phone. The iPhone 10 deserves
but what I'm
everything that it got. It's an
but
amazing
what I'm
phone.
curious about is how would you navigate either the glasses or the VR headset? Like,
maybe with motion with your Apple.
I think maybe with motion, with your Apple Watch, maybe the Apple Watch will track your motion and you'll be able to
but even
tap and
then, I
stuff.
still think
Maybe
that-
a ring type
I still don't
thing.
think that would be able to replace the iPhone because with
Yeah,
the
it won't,
with the
obviously,
because the
especially getting that to
Yeah, it won't, obviously. Especially getting that to carriers. Carriers won't like that because
the VR,
it's not really something
the
they can
VR
sell
stuff,
every year.
I know that people wouldn't like that because it's too bulky, and with the glasses, there are a few issues. Number one, what if it's sunny outside? Then people need sunglasses, or what if
they
people?
would probably have some sort of
Yeah, they would probably have
What if-
some sort of addition,
Yeah.
some
what if
sort of
people even
accessory to
just
make it
need
sun
What if
goggles.
people have to wear regular glasses? As a lot of people don't like to put contact lenses in, and LASIK surgery tends to go bad.
Yeah, that
after
would-
a couple decades.
Yeah, I definitely would when I'm 18 because my eyesight's
Yeah, I definitely would when I'm 18 because
Yeah,
my
but
eyesight's horrible. But it is scary,
my dad
especially
actually
watching
had
other
done
people have it
back
done.
at around Y2K, and his eyesight has now gotten not too great.
Oh
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, and also, I
Yeah.
can't imagine that the fashion conscious people would really like Apple glasses either, because glasses have always infamously made people look older.
Yeah.
That's just the truth behind glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously.
And so, and they
Yeah,
also make
obviously.
people look, and they also make people look kind of geekier.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the geek goggles, then it will make you.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the geek
But
goggles,
glasses also
then it
kind
will
of
make you look geekier.
can too.
You know, but there's...
Yeah, the geek goggles always look geeky. Some
Yeah, the geek goggles always look geeky. Some of the geek glasses look different, but like the geek goggles, those are always the geekiest.
You can always geek out with the geek goggles.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can always geek out with the
Isn't-
geek goggles.
and so I can't imagine the fashion conscious would like any form of glasses or VR or anything. And considering the fashion conscious won't like it, then I can't imagine that people will.
Yeah, I just don't understand what Apple's, I guess, market.
Yeah, I just don't understand what Apple's, I guess, market for this item would really be in the end, because it's not going to be for consumers because they already have the iPhone. They won't want to try something new. The tech people really won't see that big of a reason to main that kind of stuff. Carriers won't like to sell it because obviously they're going to want to use eSIM, and then it's not something that you can really sell people every year like phones. And also it's going to be harder to break, since if you fall, the only reason they will really break is if you fall or if they fall off your face. And if you fall, then there's obviously a bigger issue than that. And, you know, if they fall off your face, then obviously, you know, that could be an issue, but,
But
you know,
getting
that's just
back
kind of
to
the user's fault.
So, remember how we were talking about the Apple Watch Series 8 earlier?
Yeah.
So, the Apple Watch Series
Yeah.
8 is going to have an Explorer version, which will be a sports edition variant that will be rugged, and it will have the rugged design, whilst the rest of the Apple Watches will have the curved design.
It sounds pretty cool. I have the stainless steel Series 7 right
Sounds
now,
pretty cool. I have the stainless steel Series 7 right now, which I'm planning to
Yeah,
keep.
I'm personally glad that I can understand why the rugged variants kind of need to, because a lot of athletes and such need that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I would definitely be interested.
Yeah, I would definitely be interested in that if it was a few years ago. But I love my
Yeah.
stainless steel watch. It looks
But
amazing.
at the same time, I prefer the curved designs over the rugged
Just such a nice
designs.
look.
Exactly. The curved design is.
Exactly. The curved design is part of the reason why I would always keep this watch
And it's thinner too.
and not upgrade for a while.
Yeah, this watch looks way better than the.
Yeah, this watch looks way better than the rumors that they have. And if they did announce the Apple Watch Series whatever, Series 7 to be that new design, I would have kept my Series 4 or my Series SE and just not upgraded.
Yeah, because it would worsen battery life, because it would have to be thinner.
It would make it look weird, and it would make it look way weirder. Like, I don't understand how people see that design appealing. It looks, I'll be honest, it looks geeky for one. It is not a fashion piece, it's just
And
a
what's
watch
even
that looks like a
worse is
caseless
that this
iPhone.
costs money too,
And the new
so
iPhones,
fashion people might look into it as a nice fashion accessory, but I don't think they'd like the Series 8 for that reason.
Yeah, because I'm looking at my watch,
yeah, because I'm looking at my watch, you know, in photos, this watch looks amazing. Like, if I was to take a photo with one of my friends, and in a Series 8 or whatever was showing, it would just look weird. You know, it would just kind of look like, what is that thing? Is that supposed to be a watch, or is it supposed to be a kid's toy? But this one, it looks professional. But it can look professional
Yeah,
or casual,
exactly.
depending on what you want.
and that's why I really like this watch that I have.
And that's why I really like this watch that I have. It's why it's
Yeah.
going to be my Apple Watch I stay with
And
for years.
Remember how have you tuned into have you tuned into the last couple episodes when you weren't there or here?
I don't think I have seen them.
I don't
So in
think
those
I
episodes,
have
I
seen them.
mentioned how in one of the factories in China, one of the makers of Apple products is Quanta, and the workers there were treated very harshly. They even had they had to sleep there.
Oh wow.
It was very uncomfortable. So
Oh, wow.
workers there rioted, and so hence this caused a huge delay in Apple product shipping.
Yeah.
Because of this, the
Yeah.
Apple Display XDR2 that was rumored to come out WWDC 2022 will be delayed from being announced in June to October.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that we can cover one more topic before I'm gonna have to go. So, what would our last topic be?
I've actually still got a bunch more news to talk about, so,
Maybe we can cover that later on a Friday.
Maybe we can cover that later on a Friday.
Alright, so the last thing that I wanted to talk about was how Apple is trying color e-ink displays for their foldables. But again,
That would be
e-ink
pretty
displays
cool
can't really
concept.
display video.
Yeah, because the frame rate, and that would also make a lot of things
and that would also ruin
look
the whole
slower.
point of having an e-ink display too.
Yeah.
And speaking,
Yeah, so the e-ink might be good for the rugged Apple Watch, or not rugged, but some of the Apple Watches. Maybe if they were to make a budget Apple Watch, that would actually be pretty cool if it was a color
that might be a
e-ink
decent
display.
idea
What do you think?
because people don't really. It would seem slow to people, but at the same time, that might be a good idea because people do like the idea. Because people don't.
They
Really
can make it
play
really
games on
cheap.
their Apple Watch.
Yeah, and if the Kindle Fire, or no, the Kindle Paperwhite's like $99, imagine how cheap the Apple Watch could be. Probably $99 with the same specs as the bigger Apple
That's a
Watch.
genius idea. So.
Yeah, it would be really cool because it would get a lot of people into the budget Apple Watches because of how cheap they are to manufacture.
That is the. So that
Yes, I
was
think
the
that would
last
be
topic,
pretty cool.
so do you want to roll the outro now?
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Yep. So, I'm glad that we were able to finally wrap this up and have a successful recording for once.
Stay tuned for Friday when we will be having Jordan Riddles on from the iPhone fan. And as always, I am Teddy from the iTunes Fanboy. And we are saying goodbye
I'm Tabbypears.
until Friday.
Alright, I'll see you on Friday.